What's up YouTube, this is Matt, and up for review today is the Kanto YU2 desktop speakers. These are small form factor premium desktop speakers that measure in at 5.9 inches high, 5.3 inches deep, and 3.9 inches wide. They're of acoustic grade MDF construction, and Kanto offers a wide variety of colors, some in matte finish and some in glossy finish. My pair feature the matte white colorway. When the package arrived to me, I was pleasantly surprised at how well these speakers were packaged. The inclusion of closed-cell foam shows Kanto is taking the necessary precautions to protect these speakers during transport. In the box, other than the speakers themselves, you receive a power cable, speaker wire, a 3.5mm auxiliary cable, a USB cable, and the manual with feet for the speakers themselves. My unit was also shipped with optional S2 speaker stands. In terms of pricing, you can typically find the speakers themselves online for $180 and the stands for $32. Taking a quick physical tour of the speakers, the front, top, bottom, and sides are identical to one another, with the only difference being the LED indicator on the left speaker. The front of each speaker features a 3-inch composite driver as well as a 3/4-inch silk dome tweeter. On the back is where we see the biggest difference between the two. The left speaker holds a volume knob, right channel out connection ports, an auxiliary port, a USB port, a sub-out port, a power input, and a bass port to increase bass response. The back of the right speaker just features the right channel input and the same bass port as the left. And this is just because the right speaker is a passive speaker. Setting up the speakers is pretty simple. Just connect the speaker wire between the two speakers, plug in the power cable, plug in your audio input of choice, either through the auxiliary port or USB port, set them up on the stands, and turn the volume knob up to turn the speakers on. It's important to try and have these speakers pointing in line with your ears to make sure you're hearing all the speakers have to offer. The aluminum S2 stands are great for this because it angles them up from your desk work height to point them closer to in line with your ears. Kanto recommends keeping the back of the speakers at least 8 to 10 inches from the wall for optimal bass response. Though there isn't a recommended distance apart for these speakers, the wider apart they are, the better sound staging and stereo imaging will be. After breaking these in for a while, even on my first listen, I was very happy with the audio quality these speakers produced. Though these are definitely not reference quality and aren't marketed as such, they do provide what I found to be a fairly flat frequency response. Because these are fairly small speakers, they were slightly lacking in the bass, which may be a problem for those bass lovers out there, but for me the bass response was plenty for my purposes. And for those that want a fuller, more bass heavy sound, they can connect a subwoofer through the sub-out port on the back of the speakers. And though I haven't personally tested them, Kanto does make subwoofers that I've heard are of very high quality. Kanto does attempt to make up for the somewhat lacking bass with software tricks to somewhat overdrive the low end, which does a reasonable job, but it can distort the low end sometimes. Though this isn't ideal, it's something that the vast majority of people will not notice and can really only be heard if you're trying to listen for it. Overall, the detail and clarity of the audio produced is fantastic, with warm mids and distinct clean highs. The audio is very well layered, and the sound staging is quite impressive for speakers of this size. Testing both the auxiliary input and built-in USB DAC, I found both are very capable of delivering very high quality audio. Though audio quality is so subjective, I do think the majority of people will enjoy the way these speakers sound, and the ability to connect to subwoofer means these speakers will appeal to an even larger audience. The fact these speakers keep reappearing on Massdrop is another testament to their quality, because Massdrop does seem to have a large community of audiophiles who much prefer quality over name brand recognition. So the real question is, are they worth it? Well, comparing them to something like the Audio Engine A2 Plus, which costs around $70 more, they are very similar in size, construction, and through my listening experience of both, audio quality. So for $180, the Kanto YU2 speakers are really a good deal. Though it's questionable if the speaker stands are as good of a deal, I do think for around $30 they're reasonably priced, and I would recommend them to help increase the overall listening experience. Overall, the build quality is awesome, these speakers look amazing, don't take up a lot of room on my desk, and best part of all, I really love the way they sound. I've really enjoyed my time using these speakers and can definitely recommend them and say these will be integrated into my setup. So yeah guys, this wraps this video up. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and as always, this is Matt from TechbyMatt, signing out.